Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, America first, and how we're going to fix this bad boy by setting a destination and actually acting on it. The content that I'm about to show you right now is one of the biggest threats to liberty that we have. National Gun Rights is tweeting about it. A bunch of other sites are tweeting about it. We are talking about red flag laws, and Everytown for Gun Safety just came out and made a big proclamation that there's been a 59% increase nationally. Guys, you need to send this one out because this affects everyone, red state and blue state. I'm going to highlight the entire thing of what Everytown is boasting about how they have convinced the population how to infringe on people through a back door. Everything will be linked into the description box below. You need to send this one out. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on if you not only want to know what's going on in our world, but also how we're going to do something about it. This is the place for you, and thank you for that consideration. All right, guys, we're going to get into this, but before we do, make sure you check out my sponsor, Patriot Mobile. They're one of the newest sponsors, and I'm genuinely very excited because it's a mobile carrier that has taken technology to the next level for your benefit. They can use all the towers of all the big three cellular device companies, but they don't have to pick one or the other. For example, you sign up, they can actually run an analysis and figure out which big three carrier works best for you and put you on that one. You move to where there's a different carrier strength, you get to go on that one. These guys are using technology that no one else can use. They support causes you support with the money that you send them, and they can buy you out of the contract, and they have ways to get you on no matter where you are with the existing big three. Guys, this is something you need to check out. There's a link in the description box below. Tell them that Braden sent you this. It's something you need to check out. In fact, that's actually a random comment I found in the wild on my video yesterday saying that they did that action, they checked out Patriot Mobile, and now they're not only saving, but they're supporting causes they support. Check it out. Link in the description box below. Let's get to the big party here. All right, people, listen. You guys know that red flag laws are a big bane of my existence. Red flag laws, if you're not familiar and you're new to this topic, are effectively your neighbor or your teacher or your priest can say, hey, this person might be a concern, or worst case scenario, an ex-girlfriend could say, yeah, this person's a concern, with a jilted lover situation kind of going on, and your guns are seized immediately. You don't get to face your accuser, you don't get to do any of the due process concerns, you just lose your guns, and then you have to prove your innocence after you've been assumed guilty, which is the inverse of the way our system works. That's the entire point. All right, so now here's National Association for Gun Rights. Before I get to Everytown, which again, 59% of the increase in this year over year, we are constantly reassured that red flag laws will only target the dangerous or those prone to self-harm. What we know is that they are frequently used by anonymous individuals to disarm peaceful people, circumnavigating their rights and denying them due process. And I like that image right there. Take your red flags and turn them into coats, you traitors. I love it. All right, let's keep going. This is another example, and then we're going to get to the Everytown part where they are openly bragging about taking your rights. A New Jersey man who had broken no law and had not threatened anyone had an anonymous red flag report made against him, which resulted in a search of his home and subsequent arrest, despite it turning out that firearms were legal to possess. This is the entire point, guys. You're naturally assumed guilty because someone who you can't face gets to say something without you getting to hear it, and they take your gun rights away completely. Guys, this is the biggest threat to our gun rights in the entire nation right now, and it's catching like wildfire. It is not good. That is a very big, bad situation. But let's jump right over to Everytown. And by the way, you can follow me at BradenLOA on X. If you want to get in the conversation, I can actually reply to you guys a lot more. We have a lot more dialogue because YouTube's a lot harder to do that, but X is very direct, so check it out at BradenLOA. All right. New Everytown analysis found 59% increase in extreme risk protection law usage in 2023. 59% increase. Okay, guys, let me just show you a few of the highlights here. This is from Everytown. Everytown for Gun Safety Support Fund today released new data that found that the use of extreme risk protection orders, or ERPOs, or gun violence restraining orders, depending where you are in the country, increased by 59% across states with ERPO laws in 2023 compared to the year prior. That is a drastic increase. Did criminality just happen to increase 59%? No, it didn't. Do you think it's just happened to be that there's a government institution that cannot be weaponized against people you don't agree with politically? Or that you've been offended emotionally? Yeah. 59%? Okay, let's keep going. Wait until I show you guys the graphs here in a second. Following the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, which brought us Davy Hogg, head of the DNC now, then Governor Rick Scott and the Republican-dominated legislature enacted a red flag law. That was a big mistake, by the way. Since then, lawmakers across the country have followed suit, with 16 other states and Washington, D.C. passing extreme risk laws, bringing the total number of states with these laws to 21. That's what I've been telling you for 2 to 4 years. This is the new hotness for the gun controllers, and Republicans are seduced by it because it doesn't infringe on Second Amendment rights. Wrong. It absolutely infringes not only on the Second Amendment rights, but also multiple other Bill of Rights. Me and Tim have done multiple videos on it, and it completely circumvents due process. Completely. But there's a point to that. I brought that up in a second. I'll show you why it's important. And also, as a little flag of nanny nanny boo boo, we've got 29 states that are constitutional carry, so stick that in your pipe and smoke it. So here, this is the highlights. I'm just going to bring these up really quickly. ERPO use increased by 59% in 2023 across all ERPO states compared to 2022. This included increases in 17 states and DC and a marginal decrease in 2 states. States with increases in petitions. The states, and tell me which sounds familiar, what they all align to, with the exception of one. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida. That's why you don't do this, Florida. Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, and the District of Columbia. Every single one of those states listed is a blue state with the exception of Florida. Florida is the only red state, which is why this is so important we bring this up. This is seductive to Republicans who are on the rhino side, and it's a crack cocaine for the left. Guys, this can affect both parties. It can affect you if you're in a red state. You have to understand the danger that this process represents, because everything that they're saying already exists in laws with mental adjudication. It already exists. Everything's a written law. It's already there. But the only problem is those have due process protections, and the gun controllers don't want those. They want to go straight to take the guns away. You have to understand how important this is. Nearly 6 in 10, or 59% of counties in states with ERPO laws had at least one petition filed. So 6 out of 10. Again, understand, this is affecting you because a majority of the population lives in blue states. Between 1999 and 2023, at least 49,091 extreme risk petitions were filed. The majority of these petitions, 96% of them, have been filed since the Parkland shooting. That is a hockey stick increase. Guys, this is a threat that you need to take seriously. Insulate yourself and be aware of it. Just saying. All right. Extreme risk laws save lives. Now, this is the data I was going to show you, and I promise I always bring receipts. There is a graphical representation of all the extreme risk protection law states. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys so you can see all of them. So that right there are the states in this great nation that have been seduced by extreme risk protection laws. Most of them are blue states. Some are purple and one's red. This is mostly a blue thing. You have to understand, if you're behind the blue curtain, you need to insulate yourself from this. You choose how you're going to do that, but you have to do it. All right, so now this point, this is the graphs that I was saying, which you have to understand how serious this is. Let me zoom in a little. That's good enough. All right, California had 9,000 of them in total. Again, as you can see, it's all ramping up from left to right in an increasing fashion. Connecticut, same thing. They went from 839 to 2,100. That is a massive increase. Then Florida, the red state, no, I told you this affects red and blue. Florida has the most on record of all states. Florida, deep red supermajority Republican Florida, has more than New York, California, and Connecticut. I'm telling you, there's a reason I hit this so frequently. Maryland, 4,000. New York, 8,400. Guys, red flag alert, so to speak. Let me keep on getting to the next thing here. And this is the part where you're making a difference, because I always pay off with how we're going to orient this and move. They know they have a vulnerability from the left on the due process protections underneath this red flag. They know it's against due process. So they're putting out propaganda to circumvent that, to basically say, no, we're getting in front of this. It's fine. It doesn't infringe on anybody's rights. Look, extreme risk laws have robust due process protections. No, they don't, because if they did, there wouldn't be the caveat in the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act to say you can't get this money unless you have due process, and no one got the money. That's the whole point. It's all a big lie. And look, In the model process for obtaining a extreme risk protection order provides due process protections. They are trying to get in front of the fight they know is coming, because this is the Achilles heel. Due process protections will sink this entire thing. That's why they're trying to lay the groundwork now, because they know that it's unconstitutional and the due process is a very serious concern. So as we go through this, continuing on our chase of freedom, make sure you follow me at BradenLOA so we can have more of an intimate relationship in our freedom quest. And honestly, I can say a lot more fun things that I can't say on YouTube. And I hope you guys have a hell of a day. Make sure I see those airplanes in the comments. Make sure I landed this plane. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.